book LM, you can fact check against the primary sources while you're already working on the content itself. So that's, or even when you're using any other tool, ensure when there's a specific scenario or something, you take it, it's a personal initiative to do your due diligence and ensure that it is actually true and factual and exists according to that source. Yes. So when we talk about AI, the human AI really empowerment as instruction. So you need to treat, I mean, by treating people with respect, we get data that reflects the real world, not just convenience data. This is now where we also have to, and like this is now where ensuring that the reality that we live in, that data ready, that's what we are going to use, not giving AI a chance to just come up with that. So the human provides the soul. Okay, and the soul we mean the context, so the strategic direction and empathy. It is you to know. I mean, when you say write this newsletter in this tone, it is you to give it that strategic direction and the exact tone that you want to use. Is it empathetic? Is it warm? Is it community oriented? Is it candid? Is it professional? Is it etc.? And our lived experiences and cultural nuances, it is for us to ensure that is captured within the context of the prompt that we are giving to AI or when we're using it. Ethical boundaries and consent gathering, of course, that by default, that's your responsibility. And the final approval and relationship building. These are things that AI should never at any point replace, because this is your responsibility. And what AI can help with is structural outlines and formatting, summarizing intents, verified data, ideation, and alternative phrasing, task draft generation. I mean, I know you can say more and more in regards to this. And what should never be outsourced is the final fact checking and source verification, authentic quotes from community members, strategic decision making, and policy claims, capturing the emotional truth of trauma or joy. Like these are the elements. I mean, the sentient side and the, how do I put this? Like you are still, like the humanness of all this is not something that can be replaced at any point, and it is your responsibility as a user to ensure this is captured. Are we together? Yes. Okay.
Yes, we are.
So, thank you. Yes, and when we talk about practical workflows in communication and in content creation in general, there are different areas and categories that we can look at. And I just wanted to break down a few of these. So when we're creating an advocacy campaign, it is your role to define the goal, the target audience, the primary research, like that primary first research, that data, it is for you to put. But most of the time, what we do, or what many people do, is depend on secondary research or secondary data, what is available all over the internet. And there are times in which you actually need to go to the community to get this primary data, define the goal, the target audience, that's your role. And AI will generate the campaign, themes, hooks, messaging pillars, even draft the whole content plan. And also, I mean, depending on the tools that you use, it can even automate the whole campaign process for you. And again, it comes back to you as the final editor-in-chief to select the most culturally resonant theme and refine the messaging before you send it out. For preparing a press release, your input, it's you to verify the inputs, input verified statistics, quotes, and the core announcement, and AI will structure the release, add standard boilerplate language, and human will verify what is generative, engine optimized, friendly, keyword, and factual accuracy. Social media content, you provide the raw project updates and visual assets, and then it can help you draft the platform-specific captions with constraints. Because you see content for LinkedIn, content for for Instagram, and for your newsletters are different. So it's the same projects, the same pictures, but the final output that you're drafting is very much dependent on which platform it's going to. And then the last bit is for you to adjust the tone to match the brand voices and ensure no hallucinated claims. For creating a content calendar, yes, of course, you have brief key dates, ongoing campaigns, organization goals, and the AI will map out a 3-month posting schedule and content mix, even reminders for that. I mean, if you are maybe on like a Google Workspace, you can do the content calendar and then kind of automate it to be sending you like, if you need like maybe in the, like, for example, you can just say, okay, so for every week or Monday morning, send me like an agenda of what I'm supposed to do, something like that. Define dates, add cultural hooks, and finalize themes. That is your responsibility as the human in the loop. Other workflows that we have, of course, donor updates. I can draft a concise summary highlighting specific return on investment and impact metrics, and you as the human, you have to review this because it, like we said, it can come up with all these things outside the context that you're working with. And of course, other things like, for example, something that is like actually for this, like synthesis and repurposing, you can use Notebook LM for this, where all this heavy input, like you can have anonymized field notes, and in e-data, project reports, your logical framework, maybe your strategic plan or something, because Notebook is a closed knowledge, LLM. You're able to put all these things in one place, and it has really good limits for the free version as well. I mean, you can add up to 50 sources, and then now the AI will be able to process this document. You are able to walk through, read through, understand, and repurpose it for different items. And this actually prevents external hallucination, because every output that you're getting is in relation to the input that you have put it. So everything is from the sources that you've put, and you can verify that just by clicking on it. So yeah, and then now with that, now you can be able to generate different content. So now in Notebook, now you're able to generate slide decks, audio explainers, video explainers, infographics, mind maps, reports, data tables, all these things in relation to know who the end user is and what type of material you want. So in this regard, maybe you can do a donor update in regards to all this, repurpose one story. So AI can adapt a core narrative into a LinkedIn post, an email newsletter, and a short video script. And you just check the tone, if it is, because you see something, especially with videos, that you would notice, if you're not very clear in your prompt, it can give you a very, how do I put this? It can give you like maybe a video in Kiswahili, but then the Kiswahili is it's just really forced, because now you did not really specify the exact tone or something that you wanted. Or yeah, so you have to check all these consistencies. Maybe it has not used the language or because you see every organization, or rather every brand, has its brand tone. So it's for you to check that the tone of your brand and everything is part of that story. Yes. So in terms of, so of course, there's also like other workflows, other use cases in this workflow in regards to communication that you have. So for example, translating technical language. You will just input like e-data frameworks, program logic models. I will be able to process the plain language, draft open-ended and trauma-informed question, blah, blah, blah. And then now you can review and verify. Yes. I don't know, are we together still here?
Yes, we are together. Yeah, by the show of emojis, please show our speaker that we are still together. Great. You can go ahead.
So I mean, one key, very, very key thing for us to learn today in regards to like ensuring that while we're using AI and all these tools, we ensure that the materials that we come up with are factual, can be trusted, and very much grounded in African context and reality, is by prompting right. So like generic prompts produce generic posts, and I believe you all agree with that, and that is why they mostly either become frustrated, or you're like, I wish I had a better tool for this. So better AI starts with better instructions. That goes without saying. And it's like the analogy, trash in, trash out. So if you have a good quality prompt, then you will have a good quality output. And if your prompt has captured exactly the reality and the context that you are in and that the material is for, then you'll be able to get a good product as well. So And also you see in that regards, you're able to retain your original voice, your originality, your perspective of the story, your tone and everything. Otherwise, it becomes so generic. You ask yourself, is it me or is it AI? Because if it's too generic, then it is clearly just the machine written language. That sounds good, but then might not even, like, it not even might. That sounds really good, but it's not even, part of it is not even necessary. So there's different frameworks, ideas, and everything that we can use. I mean, like, you can, I mean, there's so many different prompting, like, what's it called, frameworks. So, I mean, you can do instructions, context, constraints, or you can do now this that is here. The goal, like one clear objective that you want, the reader, who's the audience, who are they, what do they believe, what do they need, outcome, what is the exact desired action. I mean, do you want a social media post? Do you want an explainer video? Do you want, you know, what do you want to show a process? Like, you have to be very clear. Do you want a code? Like, you have to be very clear with the exact outcome, and not just the outcome, but the format of the outcome, what it should have, what it should not have. So if it's, you have to be specific. If you want 100 words, if you want 3 pages, because you see, if you don't, then you just leave it for the AI tool to be as generic as possible. So, but no, these prompts are customized for communication. Yeah. So what's the goal? Who's the reader? What's the outcome? Why now? The timely hook or trigger. Because now this one, like, this is now when someone says, okay, this is why this is relevant to see right now. This also now contributes to your visibility on the greater digital space. Tone and voice. You have to have 3 to 5 specific brand traits, like with a do or don't list. So you're like, do, be authoritative, empathetic, concise. Don't be corporate, jargon heavy, or condescending. So this is very important because you are very particular on what you want the AI to have and what it should not have. And hooks, the specific angle to open the piece. That goes without saying. And then we have this one, the pace constraint, like platform, character limits, formatting norms, hashtag rules, assets, links, verified stats, or specific customer quotes to use. For constraints, compliance rules, so banned buzzwords or something like that. Evidence, strict boundaries of what the AI is allowed to claim. So for this one now, from your own experience as maybe a social media manager or a communications coordinator, you are able to know part of these things to incorporate it in your prompt. Because now, instead of reprompting like 10 times to get an output, when you have this in place, you're able to actually own the original innovative idea that you're trying to use with the AI or something. So that kind of ensures your output is authentic and not just random, but very tailored to the experience you want the reader to have. So these are some prompts for communicators. So I mean, I will share this presentation. We will share this presentation with you rather, so that maybe you can build on this, because it's really essential for you to have your prompt bank as an individual, as a department, as an organization, because it ensures that, I mean, instead of me writing a very basic generic prompt, trying to write a good prompt, you might as well take your time to really customize prompts for the tasks that you already have identified. And you know, so for example, as a social media person, so you just like you're a social media social copywriter for this NGO, write a LinkedIn post to achieve engagement with donors. Hook with a contrarian insight, share one short example from this report. The tone should be confident, pragmatic, warm, constraints are this, etc. So if you're able to build this, you are able to save time, yes, but also be very consistent and authentic in writing, because you're able to also improve this prompt as you go ahead. So yes, so as an advocacy campaigner, as a storytelling architect, so you're like, review this scattered field notes, draft an outline for a 50-word feature story, focus on the strategy, focus on the agency and agency, sorry. Yeah. So, I mean, the idea of this is just for you to be able to curate something that is grounded in on the actual experiences and on the individual task that you're doing, instead of being very generic and random, because we're not at a point where we should be using AI the way we did last year. like randomly unstructured with lack of a workflow, because you have experienced it to a point where you know what lacks, you know what you need. So in regards to that, you should be able to kind of structure with maybe like prompt banks, set up a workflow. You're like, so I really liked brainstorming with ChatGPT, and you do your write-ups with Claude. So you see, you're able to do you have mini practices that not only safeguard your work, but also you really ground it in the things that guide you, that is also quite culturally relevant. Yes, so yes, I will now open up the floor for reflections, questions, as I hand it back to Sharon.
All right. Thank you very much, Kyle. Sorry, there's someone speaking? Is someone speaking? Okay. I don't know if I'm the one. Is it whose end? I don't know. I'm feeling, I hear like there's someone speaking, but I cannot really tell who. But anyway, thank you very much, Bukayo, for your warm presentation. I had a question, but I feel like my prompts have been wrong. That's why I've been getting very weird captions for my post. But now I know what to ask ChatGPT. But sometimes I feel like these captions are so generic. I mean, like, I know what ChatGPT will give me. I know what, like, not only, but it is more than just And I've been feeling like, now I don't even want to use AI again. But I feel like my prompting has been wrong, and I will work on my prompting, just the way you've talked to us about the right way to prompt. So maybe before we do the reflection room, can we have questions? Do you guys have questions? Will you want some clarifications? Please type in your answer, raise up your hand, ask questions. Let us hear what you have to say. Okay, I can see one hand. Yes, Emma, please go ahead.
Especially when you're using AI, we have the ones that are premier, and then we have the ones, when I mean premier, the ones that you pay maybe a certain amount so that you can get results. Yeah. So my question is, does it matter whether you're using the basic or the premier in terms of getting maybe better results, or it will depend on how you input your response or something?
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, did you get the question right?
Yes, I did. Thanks for your question, Emma. I think that is pretty. Do you please mute your microphone, whoever has the microphone on? That's an important question that is quite frequent as well. Number, yes, of course, the quality is very dependent on the instructions and the content that you input. And there are some limitations on some tools with the free version. But also you can still get good quality outputs out of the free version. That is something that I can assure you. It all depends on your prompts. Because I know a frustration that comes is, if I just say, okay, write this for me without being very clear in my prompt, then of course it's going to be very generic. And then now I reprompt again. And then I reprompt again. Then before I even get the quality output, my tokens are over. But then when I already, like, you have to first think about that output that you want. So you're like, I want to work on, like now, for example, for me, this process of preparing for this training, I used AI in it. But now I had to already know what I wanted to talk about in the room. What are the topics? What are the key things that I wanted to deliver? And then now from there onwards, I'd be able to start my prompt work. So I would be like, so yeah, there's an AI in communication session that I have that is 1 hour, and I want it to be engaging, ask questions. These are the topics and discussion areas that must be touched. This is the audience. This is the tone. Don't use jargons. Limit to this number of slides, etc. So once I run that prompt, even the first output that I get will not be badly off. Instead of just saying, create a PowerPoint presentation for an AI and communication, da, 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 da. So in this regards, I mean, it's still the free tool that we're using, but the instructions very much determine how good that output and how usable that output would be. But then again, now maybe when you realize a tool is very, very helpful and you would want to use more of it, you can decide to pay for the premium. But before then, with even what we have available, it's possible to get good quality outputs. I hope I've answered your question, Emma.
Okay.
Back to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Bukayo, for that answer. And of course, I agree with you because I've actually seen it, and sometimes we get the generic answers, just as I had said, because of the prompt that we use. And if we can just learn the prompt, is it called prompt engineering? Then I feel like our output would be way better. Yes, some tools are useful. Yeah, I can see she's texted some tools that are useful. So there's Cloud, Notebook LM, very helpful. Hygiene, napkin, and what's the last one? Let me see. Ideogram. Yeah. So any other question? Thank you, Bukayo, for sharing that. Any other question or input? Anyone with a question? Okay, seems like today's class was good. We don't have a lot of questions. Anyway, so there is the reflection room, and the first question is, what is your biggest hesitation with AI right now? Let's type in the chat box. What is your biggest hesitation when it comes to using AI? Yeah, let's hear your thoughts. You can even raise up your hand if you want us to hear your voice, and let's make sure that we all type in the chat box so that the class becomes engaged. And yeah, so let's hear from you. What is your biggest hesitation? I feel, let me see. So losing our authentic voice. 2, data privacy and ethics. Then fear of hallucinated facts. And you can add any other that is not included there. I feel for me will be losing our authentic voice. For me will be losing our authentic voice, because as a user of AI, every single day, I feel like sometimes it gives me, I feel like that's not what I wanted to say. I feel like, this is totally not what I wanted to say. But with time, I know if we learn the prompt engineering bit, we'll be able to know how to prompt. Okay, so I cannot see your typed in answers. Please please share in the chat box. And Joe says fear of hallucinated facts. I feel like I want Joe to elaborate further on this, on the fear of hallucinated facts. Joe, are you in a position to talk and just tell us why facts are important to you, and why do you fear that AI might hallucinate your facts? Joe, are you in a position to talk? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I think for me, of hallucinate, because we work with disabilities,
Okay.
and sometimes you might get the facts wrong, and when you put them in the open, especially in social media, you get a lot of reactions.
Yeah.
People have maybe the fact that they know and they are just know. So it brings. I think I did such a thing once.
Mm-hmm.
And I think yesterday after a certain session is when I understood what really happened. So I saw like the way I hallucinated some facts,
Mm.
and I ended up not really understanding when we even pulled on the post time and such things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Joe. And I feel like, and if you're a social media manager and you post the wrong thing, I think that's the most the worst mistake you can make as a communication expert. Kupeana porojo, or what do we call it, like gossip. So I know, I understand, like, fear of hallucinated facts is something very important, and I mean it's very dangerous if we get it wrong. Because one, we also lose credibility of our organizations, of our personal social media, and it's not good. The other person is Elvira, the loss of lived experience storytelling. And then Emma says, I feel with AI that I need to verify the facts. Yeah, from time to time. That's true. 100%. It gives you some numbers and you're like, this doesn't. It looks very good. It looks very thought about through, but it's really not. It's really not the right thing. So yeah, I understand. Okay. So anyone else who wants to share something? I can see hands. Do we have hands up or hands down? Okay. So let's go to the right. Now this one everyone must answer. So ChatGPT prompt into brackets PR and brand professionals. What is one generic buzzword you have permanently banned in your organization that AI keeps trying to use? I mean, in this AI age, we should be having a lot of them. A lot of them. Let me hear from you. For me, the first one that I hate it is not only but. How is it? Actually, this is more than just an experience. It is you know, that's so ChatGPT. And then there is another one that says, this is not, we are not only building a movement, but da 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 da. I mean, that is something that we are used to, and AI gives us every single time, every single day. So let me hear from you. What is one word that someone would know? Someone would know you've used ChatGPT. Jen says the leaf at the end of the paragraph. Yeah, that's true. The leaf at the end of the paragraph. There's also the dashes, the dash, and then also long paragraphs. This one you know. This one is AI. Any other? I mean, let us all participate in this one because we've interacted with AI one way or another. Christine, Dorcas, Fazoo, Lois, Ojuang, Eddie, Solomon, Omar, Ahmed. What is that one word that you're banning from your AI? Or what is that one thing that ukiona tu unajua this person has used AI? Many
Kuna tu
words
zile dashes.
ending with ly. And exactly. Okay, I can't. Who's talking? Fazoo.
I'm saying those dashes.
Yeah, the dashes. The dashes. Solomon says some generic call to action. Together we are. Yeah. We are not only making a difference, but we are making a movement. Yeah. There's also a lot of emojis as well. The ChatGPT language has a lot of emojis, hyphens and semicolons. Very true. Let's get two more as we wrap up the session. The stars. Whoa, here is a polished. The commas before the word and. Oh my God. I'm laughing because there was a time there was a time I was going through some job applications, and then the person had written akutoa the insert here, insert your name here. So it just came with the insert your name here, and I was like, this one has used AI. Another one, dear hiring manager. Yeah, and then there's also another one. What does it say? There's another one for here is a precise or here is a polished one. And then utapata kuna mtu alikuwa anaandika caption akasahau kutoa. So that person does not even know what is happening. So that is so bad. Yeah, and then Jane says flattery and laughs out loud. And then dear hiring manager. Guy, kwani Jane, hatufai kusema dear hiring manager? Tunafaa kusema nini? I thought it was the correct English. Anyway, all right. So let's go. Jane, I agree with the flattery, yeah. Okay, the last one now, the storyteller dilemma. If an AI drafts a story based on data but did not spend time sitting with the community, whose story is it really? I read that again. If an AI drafts a story based on data but you didn't spend time sitting with the community, what story is it really? Whose story, sorry, whose story is it really? Okay, let's hear from you. Anyone with an answer to that? The flat, that's not even a story, that's fiction. Ahmed says that that's not a story, it's fiction. Anyone else with another, with something to say? Okay, let's take two more. You can raise up your hand, you can type in. Okay, so Jen says last week we had a similar example. We were told it's no one's because for ownership it has to be human authored. Yeah, true. Anyone else? We can have one last person. One last person. Let me now go to these people. Are these people here today? Because Lois, are you with us? And Ojwang, Eddie, Omar, are you guys with us? We haven't heard from you, Christine. I've heard from Elvira, Dorcas. We've not heard from you today. Are you guys with us? Please let's answer that question as we wrap up. Yes.
Hello, yes, I'm with you guys. For today, I do not have any question. Yeah, I've fully understood. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So yes, we are together. Dorcas says we are together. Amazing. So we can just pass it over to Bukayo. I know we had such a question in our last session. I can just pass it over to Bukayo to finish up maybe and also answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Thank you for that session. I mean, in this dilemma, it's quite a, could you please speak, Sharon?
Sorry? Oh,
Could
yeah,
you
yeah,
mute
yeah, I
yourself?
can. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, so in this situation, I mean, this is quite a dilemma because if the AI has drafted a story based on data, well, I would say the story is not yours, it is AI written more or less. But then at the same time, the authorship is in your hands. It really depends on how, like, I think, this is quite a tricky one. But according to me, if you have drafted a story based on data, but you did not spend any time with the community, then the story is not yours because there's that big element that is, you see, there's information that can be captured in during data collection, but then there's information only you can capture while you're spending time with community, especially. I mean, if in a one-on-one conversation, when okay, I want now to use in a conversation that you connect, you're able to pick up on some what's it called cues, some body cues and everything, and that is one of the things that humanize and completely make the story yours by like yours. And if that element is missing, then I would easily say that's not your story. That is something you drafted based on AI and secondary data because it's not really what you are able to pick. Like, and you see now when we talk about capturing lived African experiences, you're forgetting the fact that AI is the tool that is helping you come up with this, and you're just letting it do that whole thing by yourself. So I think in this situation, then the story is not yours. And for it to be yours, you have to do your part. Let AI reduce the time you're working on a video and a documentary, but then you have to be fully present in the community and in your work to actually complement this data with what you pick up by yourself. You see? So yeah, that is what I would say. I don't know what your thoughts are, but yes, I will now. I would now like to close the session. I wanted to see. I thought we would be able to maybe I would be able to demonstrate a few tools in regards to this. But for those of you who have attended the meeting, while we are sharing this presentation, I will also share with. We will also put together. This is why we also wanted to get to hear some of the challenges that you have in terms of what is your hesitation, what are some of these issues or things that you pick up in using AI in your storytelling, so that we'd be able to curate a prompt bank in regards to this and share with you as well. So Sharon will ensure that this presentation gets to you alongside some tools and use cases so that you can explore as we await for the next session. So I would like to hand it over back to Sharon. Thank you for your participation. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next session. So a closing remarks is the AI can process billions of data points in seconds, but it has never sat under a tree in Nairobi, and it has never felt the urgency of an advocacy campaign, and it has never looked at a community member in the eye. So human creativity, empathy, and lived experiences are the ultimate premium in an AI-assisted world. That is at a premium subscription, not able to replace that, and that is how you retain your authorship, and that is how you retain your authenticity. So it's a tool for scale, and you're the compass for the truth. So on your narratives. I will now like to hand it back to Sharon. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bukayo. And I'm taking home two things. One, AI is a tool for scale. And two, learn how to do your prompts well so that if at all you want to get good results. Thank you very much, Bukayo. And I feel like we need another session purely on prompting because this is where most of us go wrong. And if you are with me, please show up your hands in the prompting bits. Yeah, I can see your emojis. Yeah, so we might have a bonus class of prompting. Thank you very much, Bukayo. Let's appreciate Bukayo one more time. That was a wonderful presentation, very good presentation, well done. And thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And Yeah, I love the prompting design. Solomon says he loves the prompting design shown today. Yeah, and Bukayo is the queen of tools. If you want any automation, just talk to her because sometimes she shows me like a very new tools every day, and I am just amazed at how she's mastered these tools. And she does an amazing job, yeah, when it comes to tools. Sijui kama she sleeps while she's researching on the new tools in the markets, because every new tool I know, she's the one who has shown me. And sometimes she's like, "Shana, why are you doing this presentation? You can just tell AI to do it for you." And within 2 minutes, I have a whole presentation. Notebook LM is completely free. It can do videos, it can do presentation, all those things. And I also feel like we need a session on one, tools, practically using the tools, and two, practically learning the prompts. So it's something that we will consider in the next classes, or also in the next presentation. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I am going to share with you the recording for last class and the recording for this class as well. And yeah, in case anyone with a question, addition. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. I know we are supposed to end at around, we were supposed to end at 21:10, and it's 21:14. So I would like to close there. We will also share with you guys the, what is it called? Attendance sheets for this week and last week as well to sign, so that when we are processing your okay, the recording as well, yeah. And so that when we are processing your certificates, we are able to know the people who attended. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining once again, and see you on Thursday. Have a lovely night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Good night. Mm-hmm.